30. All right. Welcome to Novastar webinar. How you guys doing? Did you have breakfast? Okay. Hope you are all well. And it's a long time I didn't have McDonald's. I miss McDonald's. I hope I can get to America soon. Maybe we can host another on-site course for you guys in Las Vegas. I miss you guys. Okay, let's start from today's topic, troubleshooting. Today, we will talk 3 parts about troubleshoot. The first one is indicator explanation. This is about receiving card. So we can resolve some easy problems by checking indicator lights to see we can check some problems by these. And the second one is, what if backup failed? How we can troubleshoot? What will be the reason of backup failed? The third one is different brightness among cabinets. So sometimes you see there are several modules, the brightness are different from others. So what would be the reason for this issue? Okay, the first one is indicator explanation. This is a short video, and you can see the red light and the green light. They flash 1 time 1 second. So this is good condition. So from this condition, you can tell that receiving card works in a good way. And let's see the second one, the second condition. The green light flash 4 times in half second, and wait half second, another 4 times, and it's very fast. So in this condition, the receiving card still works, but in backup mode. So you can tell what mode the receiving card is working from this let up from this indicator flashes condition. The third mode Let me show the video again. The green light flash very slowly, 5 seconds one time. So maybe the screen is black. And what you can tell from this condition is the network cable is not connected, or the network connector may be damaged. So you cannot get the signal from your sending card. So screen would be black. And this is another condition. The green light fast flashes 3 times in half second. Flash again 3 times after half second interval. Let's see the video again. This happens very often in my career. A lot of on-site job, I see the screen is black, and actually there is not only like DVI signal input. Maybe you use HDMI. We use DVI here to refer all this video inputs. HDMI, DVI, DP, SDI, any kind of video signal. Fast flash 3 times in half second. So from all this kind of indicator condition, you can tell what is going on in receiving card. And the receiving card is a very important hardware in the whole LED structure. The receiving card controls cabinet, so you can tell what is going on in this LED system from this indicator condition. Here is a summary. Working in backup mode, working normally, network cable disconnected, no video signal. And we will record this webinar and upload to our YouTube channel. So if you are interested in this video, you can check later. Or if you want to shoot a video to record this part, I can show you the video again. Let's do this quickly. So 4 different conditions can tell you what is going on in receiving card. It's a useful information for you to troubleshoot. Okay, let's delve into the second part. A lot of projects, they use backup. Sometimes backup doesn't work. So people want to know what is the root cause of this issue. And let's start from the sending card backup structure first. So usually you use in backup structure, you use 2 sending card, and here is like a circle. video source go into video processor and go into controller, and network cable connect each receiving card. At the end of the receiving card, go back to controller and the video processor. So once there is a receiving card or a cable disconnected, the backup signal will go through in this channel. And actually there is not visible at all. You cannot see any black screen at this condition. So the backup channel will work immediately. So the problem is, if the backup settings doesn't work, what is the possible reason? So for some engineers, maybe they use Nova Star products for 1 year. Maybe they are not very familiar with this part, so we can tell how to troubleshoot in this condition. So the first part is, the first reason could be not first reason. You can check from this function in Nova LCT. In Nova LCT, there is a monitor interface, and you go into monitor interface. You can check the sending card. So you go into monitor interface and click the first option, sending card. You can see if the backup setting set up well. If you didn't do the setting correctly in the monitor interface, the software will tell you this is not correct. So there is no backup setting. So you can check from this point first. And the second one is the backup port interface broken? So for backup sending card, you can check if the backup port work in good condition. That means you can use another backup output to check, exchange backup output. For example, you are using the first output of backup controller, and if the backup doesn't work, you can try to use the second or third output of this controller to check if they works. So basically, this is about checking if the backup controller works. And the third one is, are the cables of backup channels broken? So maybe you connect all the primary channels carefully, and you miss, you didn't connect one backup Ethernet cable. So check them carefully. The fourth one is, did you do the screen connection configuration? And this is what I saw in one project. The customer asked me, Rob, why I cannot do the backup well? And I used TeamViewer login. I noticed he didn't do the backup screen mapping. So he thinks he thought I just need to do the primary mapping. I don't need to do the backup mapping. So that's wrong. So you need to do backup mapping. So check this point. The fifth one is this problem happens for some very old firmware, like in 2018 or 2017. At that time, Novastar update some controllers firmware, and so people use old firmware and new firmware at the same time. When the primary sending card stops working and the backup doesn't work, so this might happen. We can try to update both of controllers firmware to the latest version to check if backup works. The last one. The last one looks like a little bit familiar with the second one. This is also to check if the sending card, both primary and backup, both of them are working in a good condition. So you can change a new one to check. These 6 reasons, I cannot guarantee all of the reasons would be among these 6, but I think most of the problems would be caused by these 6 reasons. So if you meet this problem, or you have ever met this problem, you can remember these 6 reasons, and when you meet the problem, you check them first. The third part is different brightness on the screen. I think a lot of engineers who works in LED industry, if they do on-site job, they meet this problem very often. So this problem actually happens between modules, also happens between different panels. So when I say panel, it means one receiving card. When I say module, one panel built by several modules. So one module is a part of a panel. Okay, so let's see what we can do to troubleshoot when you meet this kind of problem. This is a picture. The left top part of the screen, the brightness is brighter than the right part. So you may meet this problem in the future. Very straightforward. We list 6 reasons that might be the cause for this issue. First one, different brightness mode. If you use Nova LCT software, and if you use brightness function, when you going to brightness adjustment interface, you can see there are two modes. The first one is grayscale mode, and the second one is contrast mode. So grayscale mode, mostly it is used in indoor project. And the contrast mode usually is used in outdoor project, a different mode. And the second reason is different RCFG-X file. Actually, the brightness coefficient, brightness info would be saved in RCFG-X file. So if the whole screen use different RCFG-X file, the brightness would be different. The third one is different firmware. This is a common reason for some new old project. When people change a new cabinet to the old project, and they told me, Rob, why the screen looks different. Some cabinets are brighter, some cabinets are darker. And when I check the firmware, actually some of the cabinets have different firmware. So different firmware also makes brightness different. This could be a reason. And the fourth one is calibration coefficient. I mean, calibration at a certain point, actually calibration is some info about brightness. So when you do calibration for your project, you actually give the whole screen a new brightness. So if you opened calibration effect for some cabinets and the other cabinets don't open calibration, the brightness also would be different among these cabinets. So check calibration when you see the different brightness among a lot of cabinets. So this, I can tell you that when you use Nova LCT, how to check calibration is you open calibration, go into calibration interface. On the left down corner, you can enable calibration. So you can enable calibration and disable calibration to see if the calibration is a reason caused this problem. The fifth reason is power supply. So actually in the LED modules, the pixels, all the pixels driven by driver IC, and the driven IC will supply current to the pixels. So ultimately, the power supply caused this issue. So if the current, some pixels get a stronger power supply, they might be brighter. And some pixels get a lower current, they may be darker. So this is also another reason. And the final reason is multi-batch, different batches. If you use different batches modules or different batches cabinets, the screen mostly would be in different brightness condition, because when manufacturer build this cabinet, they have a certain brightness, and if they build this module another in another batch, the standard of brightness is different. So this is another reason. Maybe you can take a photo of this picture. So once you meet this issue, you can check one by one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the first one. Nova LCD interface brightness adjustment 2 mode. Make sure all the cabinets works in one mode. Different working mode will cause receiving card output method different. So choose one brightness mode and save that to hardware. Make sure all the cabinets works in one mode. The second reason, different SFG file on the screen. So this is easy to fix. You can read one SFG file from a good condition cabinet. Read from receiving card. Choose a good condition one, and send this SFG file to all the cabinets. The problem would be fixed if the reason is this one. So here is a red rectangle, different SFG file. The brightness efficiency is different. So that is the root reason. Like what I said just now, read from the good condition cabinet and send this SFG file to all other cabinets. Make sure all of them get one SFG file. Third one, if you don't know how to get into this interface, let me tell you. In the original interface of Nova LCT, you log in advanced user and tap 666-888 as a secret password. 666-888 or admin, ADMIN, both works. And a secret interface will pop up. So this is the interface. We upgrade receiving card firmware. We upgrade sending card firmware. When you click refresh, you can see all the firmware of this whole system, sending card, receiving card. You can see here is MTRL 300. This is sending card firmware 4710. And you can also check the firmware of receiving card. So in this example, the firmware are different. So you can load the latest one and upgrade to all other receiving card. Maybe some of you guys use ARMO series receiving card like A8S, A10S Plus, or A5S. Armor series receiving card can read back the firmware. So you don't need to ask your LED supplier or Novastar. You just read back the firmware and to your desktop, and you load it and update this firmware to all the receiving card. So Armor series is more intellectual. It's more smart. Calibration. Here is a picture. In the right circle, there is one cabinet. The brightness is totally different from others. So for this scenario, this issue, you can use Nova LCT. Like I said before, go into calibration interface, try to enable chroma calibration or brightness calibration and see if the whole screen becomes same brightness. If you enable calibration and the whole screen still are in different brightness, maybe this one, this cabinet, actually this cabinet maybe do not have calibration coefficient at all. So you need to recalibrate it. Or you disable calibration, the whole screen become same. It still means, you know, some cabinets do not have calibration coefficient inside the receiving card. So in Smart LCT, you can also enable calibration. The enable calibration interface is in the left part, right part in the color property. I remember it's very straightforward for you to check. The fifth reason, power supply. Power supply. So I know some cabinets, they use one power supply for LED panel and the receiving card at the same time. But sometimes the power supply between each panel are different. So this would be a reason. So this can be another troubleshooting scenario. One cabinet is totally black. I remember I did on-site support for this scenario. That is, one cabinet is always black, and the customer asked me, Rob, what is going on? What is the problem? Why my cabinet is always black? And I try to check the receiving card. I send one receiving card to the whole cabinets, and I try different brightness mode, grayscale mode, and the contrast mode doesn't work at all. So I fly to the city, and when I opened the back door of this cabinet, I see the power supply doesn't work. So power supply could be a reason for this kind of issue. Black cabinet, low brightness cabinet. So if you tried all other uh, uh, all other methods to solve the problem. No solution works. Check the power supply. Very important. You can also, I'm not the expert of LED power supply, so it's better if you meet this problem, power supply problem, you can ask the manufacturer, LED manufacturer, to ask them how to check the power supply. What would be the voltage for receiving card or for the panel? The final reason, screen with multiple batches modules. So for this problem, we have a tool in Nova LCT, multi-batch adjustment. What I can tell is this tool definitely helps different batches modules to get into a very similar, very close brightness color, but I cannot guarantee they could be totally same. So if you have different batches, what you can do is try this tool first to see how much it works. And this method, how to use it, there is a user manual in Nova LCT software. In here, help. If you click help, a user manual will pop up. You can check how to use this function. It's very straightforward. You open multi-batch adjustment and try to each module, choose a specific module and adjust its red, green, and blue color. Turn it down or turn it up. Adjust each color and try to match others. So, but this is very hard to find, I mean, this reason, because sometimes you have no idea if they are different batches. But if you try all other solutions, you cannot fix it at all. 80% it would be different batches. So this is a root reason. Finally, problem be resolved. So this is today's course. I know you have some questions about today's topic. Write down your questions in chat window, and our engineer, Ricky, will answer these questions for you guys. And we will answer each questions and upload this whole video to YouTube channel. And also the Q&A would be recorded in a file. We will upload it to Facebook. And the next upcoming webinar would be in 2 days. That is also about troubleshoot. And Alan would be the lecturer for that webinar. Okay. Write down your questions in chat window, and Ricky will answer all of these questions.